Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Starting off the week, Monday morning on the mountain, and it sure feels good here. After being in all that humidity last week, these last two mornings I've realized just how pleasant it is to wake up here where I've still got my long sleeves on in the morning and I ease into the day and don't start sweating immediately. So it's good to be back. Been enjoying the weekend with dog. Just took it kind of easy, made a little plans, and doing a video today. It's time to get a little bit more balanced again, and I wanted to just talk about raw vegan balance in general, or actually my version of raw vegan balance. So I do videos like this every day on the raw vegan lifestyle, on a plant-based lifestyle in general. I don't like to harp on the raw vegan thing because the plant-based lifestyle in general saves lives. It's a fact. I do videos on fitness a little bit of meditation and philosophy here and there. So if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you'd go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and come back and check out my content again. Just sitting here about to eat the good stuff again. The good stuff. My favorite, my reason for being these days. I'm just living on mangoes, man. I'm telling you, these mono meals, I can't say enough about them. I've learned something in this last, I don't know, almost a little bit over a month. I've been back from the States since April 13th. Yeah, April 13th. And I've been eating really clean. Lots of mono meals, basically bananas and mangoes. I think I've had a pineapple or two. I think I've had a papaya or two, but mostly mangoes and bananas. And a lot of mono meals. And this is why I don't do your programs, your cleanses, your feast, and your fast. I like to find new patterns of eating. I like to find new patterns of eating, cleaner patterns of eating that will help me continue to cleanse my body or keep my body clean without having to do all the gimmicks all the time. And I'll tell you something, I'm feeling phenomenal right now. It's almost like I have to kind of like go back to a little bit more normal eating, a little bit broader range of eating, but I'm loving this no fat. I haven't added fat. Well, I added some fat last week. I'll tell you to the extent of how much fat I've been adding. I haven't added covert fat since I got back to Costa Rica. Like I say, no reason why I do believe in fat, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Just because I just like to do that from time to time. And I'll tell you what, I felt phenomenal. And my digestion, if it was good before, it's perfect now. I don't know if there is such thing as perfect digestion, but my digestion's just been perfect. But it is time, I talked about, I'm working out, I'm trying to put on a little size again, and I feel like I've actually been doing pretty good just with the fruit and stuff, but it's time to get the greens back more into play here, focusing on them a little bit more. I'm going to start adding a little bit more fat back in, probably for a week or so to transition back into the fat thing. I'm still not going to go with avocado or with the tahini. Oh, I know what I was going to say on the fat, and I kind of got sidetracked. I had those acai bowls at the beach last week, so that was I did have fat at the beach last week, just a little bit of shredded coconut that was on top of the acai bowls I had. But I don't think, looking at it and just seeing it, kind of like sizing it up, I don't think that really amounted to too much significant as far as fat and calories and all that, when it was just more or less a condiment, kind of a topping. But this week, I'm still going to stay away from the avocado, the fat thing, except for the omega-3s. I am going to start getting the chia seeds back into my smoothies, and kind of work, just getting a little bit of the 3 in there before I start adding fat on a regular basis again. I think I'm going to still kind of keep it low fat. We'll see how that goes. Which brings me to today's talk. This video is not about me talking about just what I'm about to do, but these are the last 4 of those organic mangoes I got in Hako on Friday. I'm telling you, these are so good. I ate like 8 of them yesterday. Just perfect golden. But anyhow, balance for me. Balance for me, and like I say, I've been doing like a lot of the fruit. I haven't been as concentrated on the greens Although I haven't eaten a lot of salads during this. I've been eating big salads most nights. Now last week was an exception because I was on the road, and as you've probably already seen the video by now, I ate for convenience, but I ate very good. But it was just mostly fruit. I didn't do a lot in the way of greens last week. Didn't do very much at all in the way of greens. So it's time to start getting those greens back in. So I'm gonna make more of a concentrated effort to make sure the greens are happening every day. I'm going downtown here in a little while, so I will stock up. I know I'll get lettuce. I've got good source for lettuce downtown. I don't have the kale isn't as regular. I mean, the kale isn't as consistent in my little stores downtown as it is at the market on Saturdays, which I missed. But I'm going to see if I can if I can't get some kale, I can probably get some good spinach. So I'm going to get those greens back in here. So like I say, it just kind of all balances for me. I'm not trying to explain this balance in any sort of scientific manner, like, okay, this nutrient does this with this. But obviously, if you've watched any of my videos, fruit is the base of my diet. It's probably the huge majority of my calories. God, probably, especially when I'm not eating fat, is probably above 80%, maybe even higher than that, because the lettuces and the kales and whatever greens I'm having are not all that much. So listen, this is just for me. You figure it out for yourself, but I feel like that sugar from the fruit is what fuels my body. So that's my fuel, that's my base, that's what keeps me going. Now those greens come in there and they kind of ground me a little bit from that just high on the fruit, just all the fruit all the time. The greens ground me a little bit. Plus, with me working out, I feel like, there is protein in the leafy greens, and I just feel that extra oomph. I'm really looking forward. I hope I can find some kale today, because kale and ripe bananas, which I'm usually able to do, because I'm really looking forward to those nice green smoothies that I have after workouts again. So for me, that fruit and the greens make a nice balance. Now what I shoot for, and Tanny Raw is much better at that than me, she's much more consistent. I forget what she tries to shoot for, what you should shoot for, if it's like 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds. That is tough. And for most people, I'm going to say it's kind of unrealistic. It's not unrealistic that you can do it. It's kind of unrealistic that you're going to do it day in, day out, day in, day out. Like I say, I know Tanny Raw does it, but she puts the effort into doing it. And sometimes you've got to, reblend, but you got to make sure, if you want to do that, you've got to make sure you're getting some of the greens during the day. You can't just wait. I used to do that early on in this journey. I would just think, okay, evening time, try to get all my greens in. But now I'm trying to space that out through the day. Or not space it out, but it's just for 2 different reasons anyway. I like my green smoothies during the day, and then at night, with a salad or something else that you use with greens. But still, I know I come short. I just try to do the best I can. And then as a backup, I like to use my barley grass juice powder, just to, like I say, it's not an exact science, but I'm just trying to get those greens in as much as possible. I do use spirulina. I wouldn't really, that's not categorized. It is green, but I wouldn't put that in the greens category. But yeah, I feel like, the fruit, you really get a lot of cleansing from the fruit. I feel like even though I haven't done one of these, some sort of a proper cleanse or feast or fast, I've got a lot of cleansing over the last 5 weeks or whatever it is. My colon just feels about as clean as it can be. I feel empty all the time when I go to the bathroom, when I eliminate. I feel like boom. I mean, this stuff's been flushing my body. I've actually been a little bit surprised some days at, like, how much I'm cleaning out on the volume of food I'm taking in. But yeah, you get all, kind of, you're fueled on that fruit. You get a little bit kind of edgy on that fruit with the sugar and stuff. And then those greens, those greens kind of balance it down, make it nice. And then the fat. I talk about fat. I've done a number of videos on fat. I like that 10%. Somebody asked me recently if I follow 80-10-10. Well, no, I don't follow the program to a letter. I take a lot from it. I definitely like the numbers. Although I probably don't have many periods where I'm eating at 10%. I think mine balances out to the closer to 10% over the course of a year, because there's times where I go a good way, like this past month, where I go way below 10. And then there's other times where I'm eating consistently for a period up in the 15% range, maybe even 18 at times. So I think overall it balances out, but there's very little time that I'm eating at 10. But yeah, I think, you know, get healthy fat in there. Be sure and focus on those omega-3s. The omega-3s, I hear people all the time when I talk about, like, I kind of like watch my fat. Well, it's healthy fat. Well, you don't just sit down and eat all the avocados, coconuts, tahini, that kind of fat you want, because it's healthy fat. There's still, you know, there's still limits to that too, and you definitely want to make sure that you've got your ratios in balance, that you don't have too much in the sixes, the omega-6s, and not enough in the 3s. So you'll get your omega-3s from your chia seeds, your flax seeds, to a lesser extent from your hemp seeds. But yeah, that's where it's going to go now. I'm going to make more of a concentrated effort on the greens, more of a concentrated effort on getting the chia seeds. Definitely for this next week, I'm probably going to have chia seeds every day, at least once a day, you know. And like I say, one thing I was going to, and I'll finish with this, and I kind of like that, even though I don't do it as much, because I don't tend to use a smaller amounts of the fat at night. Like when I do eat an avocado, I tend to eat an avocado, or, you know, or a larger amount of tahini. But I like the way that Tanny Ross splits that fat through the day, where she'll have some chia seeds, you know, scattered throughout the day, some chia seeds within her smoothies or whatever, and then at night she'll have, you know, some avocado or tahini or whatever she's mixing in her dressings, kind of spread out like that. That's a good way to do it as well. But anyhow, you need it all, you know, the fruits, the green vegetables, the healthy fat. The fat's good for our skin, it's good for our hair. Even though I'm doing this and I feel good, and it's kind of tough once I've kind of gone into one of these no super low fat things, it feels so good. It's kind of like my body doesn't quite want to get off of it, because my digestion just feels so great, and I'm thinking like, well, I don't want to change anything at all, but it's kind of time to mix it up a little bit. And well, one last thing for sure. I was thinking about as I was preparing for this, like there's the fruit, there's the leafy greens, but there's other good vegetables out there, and I like to make sure, you know, even though I'm focusing on those other things as the base of my lifestyle, you know, I like to make sure, and I'm going to do that today, that I'm cutting other things up. I call them fun stuff in my salad, but they're fun, but they got a lot of good nutrients in there that our body needs and can use as well, like, you know, just the things that aren't greens, but like cucumbers and beets. I love cucumbers and beets in my salad. I like heart of palm in my salad, cutting up carrots. So, you know, we can also get some of the other color spectrum out there, but let's just mix it up, you know, just eat that rainbow. Eating that rainbow is some of the best balance you can get. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one to start the week. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. How about sharing some of my videos from time to time, trying to activate that Google algorithm as much as possible. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. Peace.